All right, we're live.
All right. This week on the Media Virus Podcast, it's almost like someone was driving drunk. Unforeseen consequences were perfectly foreseeable to anyone who would have said out loud, of golf cart rigged to simulate drunk driving. Disney's douchey death debacle defense defies decency. No bangs for the brothers. Cambodia cracks down on the diabetic monks. Do you have fond memories of sitting on your couch eating famous Amos cookies and watching Phil Donahue? Well, fuck you, they're both dead. It's the Media Virus Podcast. Let's point and laugh at the world burning around us with executive producer Mike Litoris. We're going to start over. BBC correspondent Stanley McFadden.
Makes me tingly in an unfamiliar way.
Grease Monkey Pete.
Damn, Big Daddy.
Here's the thing about the Media Virus Podcast. It's really well done.
And now, spreading the sage nihilism of an aged Gen Xer, your host and mine, the star of our show, the incomparable Matty Rockdef.
Hot damn, do we have a show for you people this week. I am Matty Rockdef, the mattiest of all of the Rockdefs, and proof positive that anyone can have a podcast. Speaking of, welcome to the Media Virus Podcast. Please like, subscribe, follow, and share. I want to take a minute, thank the new subscribers for their support, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or you're just checking us out on the MediaVirus.com. Thank you. And we are able to take calls on the air once again. So give us a call, 646-VIRUS-01. That's 646-VIRUS-01. You will make it on the show. That is just how we do. Going off script a little bit, I want to comment that the top 3 teaser tonight, you read that last sentence exactly how I wrote it.
That's why we work together.
You delivered it so perfectly, and I don't know why that just strikes me as so funny. Fuck you, because they're both dead.
I felt exactly how you wrote it. I don't read that far ahead, as you know. I will pretty much read what you put in front of me.
No, yeah, absolutely, and that's you nailed it. I think that went perfectly. But this weekend, last Saturday, I went over to my parents' house, and it was just me and Ryan because Ricky was out gallivanting.
Streets.
She is for these streets. But I've been giggling to myself about this new concept that I have, and it's not really new. It's one of those things where I've identified it for what it is.
Okay.
And it's my mother is ready to be upset at any given moment. Like life can be going, like it can be a bright sunny day, everything's wonderful, having a beautiful day, and just she is to turn on a fucking dime. She's ready to, it's like a desire for her. She wants it.
It's probably the most exciting thing happening in her day.
It might very well may be. I mean, it might be the highlight. Who knows? But one of the best things about Ryan is that he will just blurt out words that somehow correlate to what he is thinking.
Right.
But it's not contextually relevant to anything going on.
Okay.
And he doesn't give you any context.
Right.
At all.
No, I'm familiar with how this happens. There's a number of people in my life that have done this to me.
Right. No, I understand. But he'll just say, so he just blurts out, Sean Jones. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know who he's referring to. I don't know who that is.
Right.
But before I ever met Ryan's mother, the neighbor across the street was an old woman named Jones. She had a grandson
Mhm.
named Sean.
Okay.
Jones is not his last name. And we hung around a lot. And when we did, we usually got into a lot of trouble. You know, stuff went missing, things caught fire, people got beaten up, pipe bombs would go off. Basic first time offender shit,
What the hell?
Right.
you know. So Ryan says Sean Jones, and my mother
Is immediately triggered.
she goes, "No, Ryan, and she corrects him. And I hear this idiotic bullshit as I'm turning around in their direction. And my mother looks up at me with anger in her face. She's like, "Oh, Matt, dude, you're not going around with him again, are you?" Now you got to understand, Mike, I'm at a point now where I try to limit the mean shit that I say to my mom anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I used to just unload on her,
Oh my God.
you know, just say the meanest shit I could think of.
Right.
It was usually
That's what
funny.
does to their
I got
mom.
away with it, you know. So I just stared at her with like this look of pity and like disbelief. And after a few minutes, I was able to delete the insults and expletives, and I explained that I hadn't seen that dude since high school, and he's a dad now too. So you know,
Probably.
everybody grew up. No, I'm friends with him on Facebook. You know, everybody grew up. You know what I mean? Like I've seen, like I've talked to him on Facebook, but it's like not, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like we're not going out and committing petty theft or anything. But now back in the day, like one of my absolutely favorite pastimes was playing. You ever play Need for Speed Hot Pursuit? It's a PlayStation 1 game, right?
Probably. I may have.
But the point of the game is that you drive around. You can pick the track that you're driving around.
Right.
You drive around, and you basically just have a bunch of cops chasing you.
Okay.
Okay, and you're graded like the point is to last the longest amount of time.
Okay.
Right. So we would play Need for Speed Hot Pursuit whilst drinking copious amounts of alcohol and smoking illicit substances. It was such a fantastic thing to do because my friend had the wheel control.
Oh, so it was like drunk driving.
Dude, in his basement. So it was you could just shut the lights out. It was dark as fuck. All right. So it was literally a drunk driving simulator.
Yeah.
But a lot better than the one that they set up in Wildwood.
You know,
Oh,
that's
no.
what I hear, Matt. It's
Well,
it really defies logic, to be honest with you. Why you would need to do this, but it was a perfect simulation. This is your quirky news update on TMVP, bringing you the latest and most unusual stories from around the globe. I'm your host, the Reverend and Professor Mike Litoris. In a scene straight out of a slapstick comedy, a golf cart set up to simulate drunk driving at a community event in Wildwood, New Jersey, decided to take its role a bit too seriously.
Now, here's the thing. Like, I think you think of a golf cart, you might think of like a dinky little vehicle. This is like an electric powered all terrain.
Well,
This is not some dinky little piece of shit.
no, it is a golf cart. Golf carts are by their very nature heavy. They're filled with lead acid batteries to power that big heavy electric motor, and there's a steel frame under all that fiberglass. So yeah, golf carts are heavy and they hurt. The cart, driven by a juvenile attendee and a police officer, went on a joyride of chaos, mowing down 5 unsuspecting bystanders. Fortunately, no one was seriously hurt, but the event organizers might want to consider a new slogan: simulated drunk driving, now with real consequences. Remember, folks, even in simulators, it's best to keep the wheels on the ground and the chaos to a minimum. Speaking of chaos, in a bizarre twist, independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has admitted to dumping a dead bear cub in Central Park a decade ago. The mystery of the bear cub, which made headlines in
Did you hear
2020,
about this?
has finally been solved. Kennedy revealed in a video he found the bear as roadkill and intended to take it home. However, after a long day of falconry and a late dinner, he decided to stage the bear in Central Park to make it look like it had been hit by a bicycle. This unusual confession adds to the series of eccentric stories surrounding Kennedy's campaign. Stay tuned for more updates on this wild story.
You know what falconry is?
Hold on. What's his campaign?
Robert Kennedy Jr. is
A falconer.
campaigning as an independent for the president of the United States.
Love to see it.
This is the first time I talk about RFK all the fucking time.
Dude, not me.
So
I think you just tune out when I start talking.
No.
If I start talking about politics, it's a
both unceremoniously shot.
what's that?
His dad and his uncle were both unceremoniously
Oh,
shot.
I know that.
Yeah. But he wants to go for the trifecta,
While being president or trying to be president.
right? But
Bobby was shot on the campaign trail.
yeah.
So back to New Jersey and their surprise that their drunk driver was running people over. Like, are you okay, New Jersey?
I feel like they would have had better luck with this if they'd have just let you drink and then drive it. You know, this is what it's like to drive. Like, why let a juvenile drive a golf cart
Designed to be in an accident.
designed to be a drunk driving simulator when a juvenile hasn't learned how to drive yet?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all. Second of all, just let them drink. And like, that would be a fun thing. Like, hey, 3 beers and get behind the wheel of this thing and go around the course. We'll see how you do. Like, sponsored by the cops. How great would that be?
I mean,
Could you imagine if they just if they had like drunk driving lanes for, like they had regular lanes, but then they had drunk driving lanes so you could still get home?
That's like they do that in like Russia. Like that's
Yeah.
not America.
Well,
Or like in Arkansas, maybe they do that.
you all right there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had a message come in on my phone. I had to check. It was urgent. I apologize.
Ah,
Don't let it happen.
no, just
again.
take care of personal business on company time. It's fine.
What did that have to do? What did the bear have to do with the drunk driving in New Jersey? I don't get it.
It's chaos. Speaking of chaos, it was chaotic. I decided that it would be funny this week if I just kind of like shoved an extra story onto every read.
I was like confused. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Did
I was.
read ahead too long, too fast?
No. I literally took 2 separate news reads and made them one.
So what's the
But
point
one we
of
talked
this
about and
Kennedy
one we
fella?
didn't.
What's the point of him and the president?
Well, he was trying to get the Democratic nomination.
Well, he can't win over
Yeah.
Kamala.
Well,
Although I don't think he fits in that box very well.
he's actually thinking about dropping out.
I just read that he will be out by Friday.
Yeah, because he knows he's just gonna siphon votes off of Trump, and Trump will never beat Harris with that way.
I mean,
Because he's not gonna pick up any Democratic votes.
but at
He's not far enough left.
Yeah.
Isn't it good for him to be there so that like more people don't vote for Donald Trump?
I mean, if
Like,
that's
do a
if that's a
service.
good thing for you, if in your mind, if that's a good thing, then that would be a good thing.
Well, I just feel like if
Yeah.
you know that people who don't want to vote for Donald Trump don't want to vote for Kamala, then like just be that trash vote.
Right. Well, he doesn't want to be that.
Just do it for the people.
No, he believes that the better of the two candidates is Donald Trump.
No, he can't do that.
No, people can do that. It's weird.
They were doing that at the thing I went to on Saturday. It was so uncomfortable.
Oh, so you've met others that believe this, that don't.
Well,
Don't
they, like,
think.
said it. If there was like a man, like the host. There was like 3 hosts to this shit.
Oh, by the way, Ricky's famous.
Is that so?
Yeah, you
I don't know
think
why
she's
you're acting like you didn't know that.
you think she's just famous from Stepmoms.
Right.
No, she's also famous from the internet.
Okay.
And because when she comments on a celebrity's post,
Right.
they always
I've noticed that she gets a lot of return action from
she does. So, and now she met somebody vaguely so like
She's
like
hot.
a Z-list celebrity.
Okay.
You know, somebody's not really
What's
nobody
their
really knows you, but they'll treat you like a
Claim to
celebrity
fame.
because it's a hot chick type of thing.
She's just a hot girl from Long Island. That's it.
Oh.
She's not a celebrity. She's just really hot. And so people are nice to her.
I mean, that makes you popular when you're really hot.
So this is what I was saying about the politics. So there was like 3 hosts to this shit. There was the guy who like puts the whole thing together. He's like some fucking like mafia guy. And then there's a man that's like on the radio, I guess, in New York, New Jersey.
Okay.
On like a pop channel, like he's on in the morning. It wasn't like Elvis Duran or anything, but it was like some guy that everybody acted like they knew. And so he was like the host-ish, and he's like, all right, everybody quiet down. We're going to start the show. Everybody put your phones down. Everyone's always on their phones. Jeez. Remember when we didn't have phones? We got to get this country back together. Everyone's speaking English and getting it back to what it used to be.
Wow.
Which I feel like is a euphemism for MAGA. I don't know what euphemism means, but it felt like it did. But it was giving MAGA. And I was like, is that it? I said it loud when it got quiet enough after all the people stopped cheering. And I was like, is that sprinkled racism? And nobody, except for the girl sitting next to me and Andrea, responded.
You went to the depths of the whitest white that I've ever whited.
Italian people are white.
Italian people really believe they're white.
I feel like
Yeah, most of us do.
Like in the summer,
Yeah.
they're like, I'm not white, I'm tan.
Yeah, and a lot of people think Italians are white. A lot of people think Polacks are white.
Polacks are white.
Polacks are
No.
so white.
Excuse me?
You're excused.
No, white is from the British Isles or the Norselands.
Anyways,
That's white.
That
All
was
right.
an uncomfortable thing of the racisms of the rich Italians from New York, New Jersey, that were spending the evening in Atlantic City. I was like, whoa, this is giving Donald Trump.
To hear it told with the people that I grew up with, the Italians are at least a step above the Puerto Ricans.
One step.
At least.
I think it's like anyone below France. You know,
I mean,
those
I don't-
Mediterranean, those swarthy Mediterraneans. You have to
well,
you have to watch out for them.
I've always been told.
You should see her face right now. It's like,
I've always been told that, oh, you're Italian? You know, that's not much more than a short swim, right?
So weird. But what Matt was saying about
like
the
10.
internet, hold on. What Matt was saying about the internet, so it's that when I post a story with these Bravo celebrities, like the housewife people,
Right.
they're reposting my story.
Yeah.
Or they're liking my comment.
That's good stuff,
That I commented on their thing. And I'm just trying to get my name out there. That's all I'm trying to do.
Well,
trying to be a Bravo celebrity.
I'm just trying to get in where I can get in.
or get your show picked up somewhere.
I'm okay.
Get our show.
No.
No.
There's a girl from Teen
No.
Mom named Kale. She was in when her Teen Mom episode aired 100 years ago. She lived in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And now she lives in like Middletown, maybe.
Probably. Yeah, that sounds right.
right? I know she goes to a salon, like a hair salon in Newark. She lived in Dover for a while because her man was like on base, Air Force. But
I thought you'd say probation.
she's like building houses. She's building another house. Like she built the house that she lives in, and she's building another house.
Like by herself?
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah,
She has like 8 kids.
She was on Teen Mom. She's made some deals and made some money.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. She was on 16 and Pregnant originally. Then yes, on Teen Mom. So now she has like 2 or 3, maybe 4 podcasts. But she has a company that
we need 3 more.
I'm not today years old. I'm a couple days old realizing this. So every time she posts her podcast, it's on Killer Media.
Okay.
KILRR or KILLR.
All right.
And I was like, what's Killer Media? Because I'm familiar with a lot of these podcast brands. Just because like a lot of the Bravo celebrities that I follow and other celebrities and just like other like podcasts, like they're not presented by, like on my Spotify, it says Ricky Santiago. But with other people, it'll be like, this podcast, but it's put out on Spotify by this other company.
Right.
That's like if mine was put out by the Media Virus.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anyway, so hers is Killer, and I was like KILLR, and I was like, I wonder like what company that is. And then just randomly the other day, I thought it's her own company.
Probably.
Killer stands for Kale, Isaac, Lennox.
For kids.
Her kids' names, not the last 2 kids, but the first 5. And I just I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to start a company?
Fucking.
Well,
all right. Two things that you've reminded me of.
If someone starts sniffing around to put you on their podcast network, you would at least want an LLC to bring the money into. That way.
Yeah. And that doesn't take long.
Way when you hire Matt and you hire me as a producer,
I can start my payroll. No, I know all about starting a business, and I know all about.
Well, then let's start an LLC, Media Virus Network.
But that's the
LLC,
thing. If once you start an LLC, like you have to do taxes for it, and you have to like have sales.
If you don't have sales, there are no taxes.
But like my sales right now are $9.98. Like,
right.
I'm not.
You think they're gonna tax you on that?
I don't know.
But we could also write off like the computer, the microphones.
Yeah, but I bought those in 2023.
Right, but all the new stuff you're gonna get.
Right.
Oh, I'm buying a new computer. And so but that has always been like the plan. Like I feel like this is production meeting talk, but
it is.
That's always been the plan. The plan has always been to start a company.
Mm-hmm.
To sell the advertising, to put out the podcast.
Yep.
And like that's the business that we'll have and like the network that we'll have. But I'm not gonna waste my time doing it now. But like if I think of a cool name, then I'll certainly buy it's not the Media Virus, because this is my thing and not yours. That's like becoming a doctor and then going by your last name and not mine.
Becoming a doctor.
Do you know what I mean, Mike?
No, absolutely. I understand fully.
Would you be a podcaster if you'd never met me? No. So everything you are, you owe to me. Thank you.
Ew.
So when I was editing your not this release, Jennifer, and she said that she was on
16.
My Sweet 16. I confused that for 16 and Pregnant.
Oh.
And then wasn't she talking about like in vitro?
IVF, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that what it's the same thing?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I was like, well, if you were on 16 and Pregnant, you obviously don't have. And then I listened to it again.
And you realized it was
that's
Super
a different
Sweet 16.
Super Sweet 16.
Yeah. It was a birthday party show.
And it wasn't even like, wasn't her party, right? It was.
No, she was.
She was just at a party.
She was a guest at a Super Sweet 16. It was toga themed.
Did you listen to that episode?
Not yet, no.
Dude, the guest had to bring it up, and she was like, "That's why I thought you wanted me on the show." I'm like, and Erica's like, "No, I just you're my friend. I wanted to talk to you."
It was a joke. Like, me and Jen do bits. Like, she's my first friend. I was telling her this the other day. Like, she's my first friend that I ever like knew that like you can do a bit with another person and not just do like fun voices by yourself and just be funny.
Oh, okay. No, I get that.
You know, one of the things, and this is why
Matt and I write together.
Yeah. And that's the thing though, is you and I do it too, is we'll leave shit out. We'll say something really fucking funny while we're writing, and it won't come out again.
Yep.
Like we were talking about the Wildwood bit. She's like, there was a meeting about that. Like,
They were like, guys, we're gonna pretend to be drunk drivers and it's gonna be totally safe. Everyone who's in favor say aye.
Well, like, what really concerns me about that is to simulate what it feels like to be a drunk driver in a golf cart. I feel like you have to disable some things on the golf cart, or at least make them wonky, like make the steering screwy and the braking late and the acceleration touchy, like all these things that make it so dangerous that you would never think to do in a car to prove something to somebody.
Not they bought an old golf cart that was like on its last leg, and they were like, it's a simulation.
Well, shit, I've simulated driving drunk a million times if that's the case.
Ooh, I have a friend request on Facebook from a man named Donald Walker, and he's giving sugar daddy.
like how much? Like, I mean,
he's from Beaufort, South Carolina. He's looks 100. He's giving Kenny Rogers, and he has like 4 friends.
All right, well, we got more stories to get into.
He's widowed.
But Disney is goofy. In a plot twist that even Disney couldn't script, the entertainment giant is trying to get a wrongful death suit thrown out because the plaintiff once signed up for Disney Plus. Yes, you heard that right. Jeffrey Piccolo is suing Disney after his wife tragically died from a severe allergic reaction at a Disney Springs restaurant. But Disney's lawyers are arguing that because Piccolo signed up for Disney Plus trial in 2019, he agreed to arbitrate all disputes, which should include this one.
I mean, can you imagine having to be the lawyer? Like, to be in that mindset, to walk in and say that to somebody. It's like, oh, well, I know your wife died, but you can't take us to trial because you signed up for Disney Plus 4 years ago.
Can you imagine even like a bitch who stands up in a meeting and says, guys, I got it. I got it. Here it is. This is
it was an intern. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I got something.
See if he signed up for Disney Plus. We have an arbitration agreement in there. Like, just the mindset of that was
terrible.
Now, is there more to that?
Yeah, in the latest update, the judge has yet to make a final ruling on whether the case will proceed to arbitration or not. Meanwhile, legal experts are scratching their heads and wondering if this is the most magical legal defense ever seen. Looks like Disney is taking the happiest place on earth to a whole new level of legal gymnastics. Speaking of terrible companies that should have gone away years ago, in an otherwise unrelated story, Starbucks is facing a wave of customer dissatisfaction, leading many to abandon the popular coffee chain. Customers are citing high prices, long wait times, and incessant tip prompts as the main reasons for their frustrations. Despite efforts to attract customers with promotions and a CEO, Brian... Is that Nichols?
Probably.
And new CEO Brian Nichols' leadership, the chain saw a 6% drop in U.S. orders in the 4th fiscal quarter of 2020.
See, that makes more sense. The whole time I read that as chainsaw. And I'm like, what does chainsaw have to do with anything? But now that you read it, the chain saw.
Oh, the chainsaw. Oh.
Yeah. The chain synced.
Synced it.
The once beloved Gen Z staple is now struggling to maintain its customer base. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story.
I hate Starbucks and I hate Disney.
I've
So
never
that's
been,
what
I've never been fond of Starbucks.
I've had Starbucks very few times in my life, mostly out of complete desperation.
Yeah, I don't mind strong coffee, but I like a lighter bean, a lighter roast on my bean. That they're
Oh
dark.
yeah,
It tastes burned.
it's burnt. That's what it is. They've burned it. They make terrible fucking coffee. They're terrible at making coffee, and they don't pay their staff. Why would anybody go there? Wawa coffee is 3 times better. I would rather, dude.
Convenience store or gas station coffee. Wawa's good coffee.
Do you know what is a step above Starbucks coffee? Just a little bit.
What's that?
I want to see how far my phone will zoom in on this. It's doing it by itself.
I know.
Just a little bit.
Move your fingers
Right.
apart just a little bit. See what it does. Okay. I didn't know if it would back in and out if you did that.
Yeah. New England coffee.
Oh,
New
yeah.
England coffee is just a little bit better. And I have said out loud into this microphone on this show that New England coffee tastes like somebody goes out and collects dried dog shit
Ew.
and grounds it into a fine powder and then runs it water through it. That's what New England coffee. Maybe the dog ate some coffee beans.
It's bad. No,
It's bad.
I'm not
It's
a
not
fan
good
of
coffee.
coffee.
I'd rather you give me a choice between Starbucks and New England. I would take New England because I don't like Starbucks.
My two choices. I brew at home, so my two choices right now at BJ's, their brand Berkeley and Jensen, Colombian beans, medium roast, fantastic.
All right.
And I also like the Colombian, which is a medium roast at Wegmans, their house brand. They're on par about.
It's probably the same company.
Very likely, but as far as generic goes and reasonably priced, it's fantastic.
Well, there you go. Yeah, did you go to the Diabetic Monks concert last week?
Isn't that a great band name?
That would be a fantastic. The Diabetic Monks. I might start a band.
You're busy that day.
Just so you can have the Diabetic Monks.
Diabetic Monks.
Would we take the stage dressed as Buddhist monks?
Of course.
You know, with the robes and shit.
And we're all gonna check our sugar. The first song is played by our high sugar levels, like when it beeps. But there's news copy in there.
There is. Health officials in Cambodia are urging the public to stop donating energy drinks to Buddhist monks.
Mm.
This plea comes after a significant rise in diabetes cases among the monastic community. Dr. Bun Sochit, I probably really beat that up pretty bad, but Dr. Bun Sochit, a diabetes specialist, highlighted that monks are now more likely to develop diabetes compared to the general population. The tradition of donating to monks is deeply rooted in Cambodian culture, but officials are now asking for healthier alternatives to be considered. Speaking of conditions that are hazardous to your health.
Well, wait a minute, because I've done a lot of research on monks.
Okay.
And mainly through films.
I was going to say, cite your sources.
Yeah, well, mostly kung fu movies.
Okay.
But in kung fu movies, monks are constantly doing kung fu.
Okay. I mean,
so
that's
I don't understand why they're more at risk just because of a sediment, because they're doing fucking kung fu the whole time.
But there's also meditation, and meditation's a sedentary activity.
You think there's more meditation than kung fu?
I think there's probably enough meditation when you combine it with they probably have to lay down and sleep at some point.
you know what they should do? They should just do Tai Chi all day. That's both of them. It's meditation and kung fu.
Split the difference. You could get exercise, burn some calories, and meditate.
That's right.
True. Because there is a lot of meditation involved with Tai Chi.
There is. All right, what's the rest of that copy there, Mike?
Well, speaking of stories that are hazardous to your health, Dutch beach volleyball player Steven van de Velde, who served prison time for raping a 12-year-old girl, broke down into tears after being booed by the crowd at the Paris Olympics.
Aww, poor guy.
Van de Velde, who was convicted in 2016, faced loud boos every time he served during his matches. Despite the hostile reception, he and his partner, Matthew Immers, managed to win their second match. Van de Velde expressed his disappointment with the crowd's reaction, stating that he has to accept his past, even though he deserves to be forcibly castrated without anesthesia and beaten until he goes limp for the rest of his natural life, resuscitated every time he feels the sweet relief of death, until which time resuscitation fails and his remains be spread via wood chipper onto a death row dog kennel. But he found it difficult to see his loved ones affected by the backlash of his perversion. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. Hopefully someone will beat him to death.
Hold on, because why was he getting booed?
Oh, he raped a 12-year-old girl like in 2014.
Oh, okay, I heard of this. Because people that were mad that they were talking about that boxer girl. They were like, why
everybody was talking. Everybody
guy?
was talking about the big scary bitch, and nobody was talking about the kid diddler.
So what country is he from?
Sweden or some shit. It says in the copy,
Holland.
doesn't it? Holland?
Yeah, it says he's Dutch. That would be Holland.
All right. So, I
You don't care about rippers in Holland?
well, apparently they let them be Olympians.
Ew.
If you're really good at volleyball, you can do whatever the fuck you want in Holland. It's basically the
moral of the story.
Moral of the story. Just for the viewers.
Did he win?
I think he's still up. Like,
The Olympics is still on?
I think so.
No, the Olympics is over.
Is it? Did he win?
I don't know.
That's the thing, is like you put a story in to Copilot, and even when you ask it for updates, it doesn't do any research. Now, I need you to do the research for me. Here's a story I want to talk about. Give me all the other information, But
I don't think they let it touch the internet.
I added a little bit to that copy. I maybe put a little of my own opinions in there.
It felt like maybe you fleshed out a few more words.
It felt
there.
like it was giving Matty Rockdef.
It felt like you pressed a few more words in on it.
Well, I wanted to, he was just talking about how sad he was, and I wanted, I'm sure he he needs to understand that that's what he deserves, to be forcibly castrated without anesthesia, beaten until he goes limp every day for the rest of his life, resuscitated anytime he feels the sweet relief of death, and then when resuscitation fails, his remains will be spread via wood chipper as a last meal for dogs about to die. That's
Oh my. That's detailed.
Does anybody disagree with me?
I mean, you drive a hard bargain,
right? He raped a 12-year-old girl. But he shouldn't be playing volleyball for the Olympics. He shouldn't be representing a country.
Yeah, right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the upsetting.
I think that's the moral of the story here.
Moral of the story here is let's let kid rapers, play in the Olympics.
Rip is
Or do anything.
Or do anything.
Anything.
Or have anything that's leisure.
Like be able to walk without assistance. And give them no assistance.
Yeah. What else is there?
That's it for A block. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, we have
you,
some notable demises.
Yeah, Phil Donahue and the guy from Famous Amos Cookies.
Mr. Amos?
Mr. Amos, Willie Amos,
Amos
and Phil Donahue.
and Phil.
Where was
Wally
I?
Amos is 88, the cookie guy.
Yeah.
Oh, your mom's age.
Yeah. Where was I? That I said, oh, fuck, Phil Donahue died. And whoever's like, I was with said, I thought they were already dead. And I'm like, me too. I really thought Phil Donahue was already dead.
No,
But
he was.
no.
Well,
He
you
was
only
floating
hang out with
around.
me and your parents, so.
No, I was with somebody else. I was with somebody else.
Oh.
He was floating around married to Marlo Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
love
think
the name Marlo.
it
Well,
might have been like a doctor's office.
Oh, at the
For context, Marlo is the daughter of
Danny.
actor Danny Thomas.
Danny Thomas.
He also founded the children's hospital,
St. Jude.
St. Jude. Yep.
Yeah. Dude, kids today don't know fucking Danny. She don't know who Danny Thomas is. She don't fucking know who Danny Thomas.
Is it from the bagel store?
No, he was an actor. He was in a lot. I don't know what the fuck was
Did
he in.
Play a train?
I don't remember specifically. He was in a lot of stuff
Honestly?
though. I mean, he was a showman. He could dance and stuff.
Yeah, but he was big all through like the 50s, 60s, 70s,
Yeah,
even into the 80s. Like I know who Danny Thomas is. You know what I mean? That was
and was a good-looking dude when he was young.
I gotta tell you, you know what I miss,
What's that?
and you could never make me sit down and watch it. But you know what? I miss the Jerry Lewis telethons.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
They were such a pain in the ass. Like you hated them. They were just on, but it made you do something else while they were on.
And that's reasonable, right?
Yeah, they were just on. It was like you'd have like Downs kids singing and shit.
Yeah.
You know what else I meant? Do they still have this? Like PBS still have telethons?
I haven't seen one forever, but I imagine.
I had one for school.
Like on like public access?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And they've streamed it on the internet too.
That's fantastic. But like actual PBS, I guess they don't.
I don't know.
They used to play the coolest shit during pledge time.
Yeah, that was the best time to watch because all the good stuff was on.
Yeah, but
They did a telethon on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh yeah.
Also on the Brady Bunch.
But I used to have a copy of like I taped off of Channel 12
Uh-huh.
the Bob Dylan 30th anniversary special,
Right.
which was fantastic. It had dudes from Pearl Jam, it had Neil Young, it had all kinds. It had every cool motherfucker at the time. But the best part was I had it on tape, so I could fast forward through.
Right.
You know, that was highfalutin back then. I could fast forward through it.
I don't know if you remember it, but the Motown 25 special that was on TV when we were kids.
Oh yeah.
It's actually the one where Michael Jackson debuted the moonwalk.
Yeah.
You see that clip all the time. Well, we had that on videotape when I was a kid. We had it taped. And I know I wore a hole in the Michael Jackson song. I had to.
Yeah.
But I can remember watching that. And I recently saw it played back, and it was on like PBS at telethon time or something. It was on some channel that like it was like, oh, okay, wow. It's surprising that that's on, but I'm going to watch a few minutes.
That and they had that fucking dude that just went to Alaska and just cut down trees, built a house. You ever watch that dude?
Yeah.
And he just tells you about what he's doing. He's like, well, today I'm going to make a fucking stove. I need to cook shit. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to make door hinges. Watch this shit out of fucking trees. You ever seen anybody make door hinges out of trees?
It's crazy.
You fucking have now, dude. Watch this shit.
Well, the best part of that is he was a trailblazer, Matt, because look on YouTube. That's like half the content on YouTube.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But he like died out there 30 years. Like he was out there for like 30 fucking years. No, he didn't die out there. They brought him in.
And then he died.
Yeah. But he was just out there by himself, didn't give a shit. He made his own canoe. Yeah, fuck it. I'll make a canoe. I'll go fishing. Dead of winter. He didn't care. Everything was cool. But
let's go camping during Halloween.
Fucking right. I'll do it. All right, but I think this is probably got to be the longest A block we've done in a couple of.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one. There's
we're at
meeting that took place in it though.
What's that?
There is some meeting time in there.
Yeah, well, but
that's how we keep our listeners aware.
Let's wind this down and get to what we're doing.
All right. Well, I want to tell everyone that tonight's A block, as usual, has been brought to you by 302-46-VOICE. If you want my voice on your project, dial 302-46-VOICE. My Sports Art Shop. You can check them out on redbubble.com, or you can go over to mysportsreports.com. Get all your local and regional sports updates and news from mysportsreports.com. Stepmoms Without Children, always a proud sponsor, and the show of our favorite guest that keeps Matty or favorite cast member that keeps Matty in line, Ricky Rockdef. You got a big name this week, Ricky? Really big shoe coming for us?
Yeah, we have Becky and Nina with a very big announcement.
Uh-oh. Very big.
So all the stepmoms fans, like, I feel like there's two types of stepmoms content. There's like this straight up interview, and then there's like Kiki time. And I feel like the Kiki time, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay. The Kiki time always gets a lot more of a response.
Yeah.
You know, the interviews are good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she should be proud of them. But the Kiki time is what really gets the listeners excited.
Mm-hmm.
And this is key.
Spilling tea.
Oh, yeah. They just.
No, it's hot, though, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah. Well, you pour it in a circle and then make the pentagram.
Well, that's fantastic. And I also want to tell you that after the break, we're going to explore the world of news media absolutely begging for Gen X to stand up and give a shit. And then in the C block, we'll discuss aging, sweeteners, and probably do a cold read theater. I have this thing stuck up my ass, and I think it keeps going deeper. This has been the A block on the Media Virus Podcast, episode 190. What are we? 198? Yeah, Matt's shaking his head. Yes, it's 198, and we'll be back with the B block right after this.
Don't need to try it again. Never gonna like that taste in my mouth.
Don't have to try that again. Never gonna like that taste in my mouth. He actually said that on our show.
I know. I'm sad he's not here. We were gonna fucking beat this shit out of him for his birthday. You know?
Yeah. Come on. Save. Last night while we were having that meeting, my dog had the worst gas.
Really?
Oh, he was awful. damn it. Ah. That's better. Save. All right.
Bill just sent me a text. He goes, I have an employee that we hired 3.5 years ago. She hasn't followed through with anything she said she would. She just had a performance review, and based on our original contracts, may be eligible for a promotion in November. During her review, she said if she gets promoted, she would do all the things she promised she would do. She seems to have no interest in doing the things that she promised now, but appears to be holding out on them in order to get promoted. What would you do? Good advice only, as if everything depends on the right choice. And my first response was, are you really fucking asking me?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, what would you do? I'm like, I'd fucking terminate her contract. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
You didn't, you haven't met the terms of your contract. And he's the one that has the lofty business degree from an Ivy League school, isn't he?
He's asking what I would do. I'd fucking fire her.
You know what this tells you, right?
He's an idiot.
Well, I mean,
What?
I think it's more telling about people sitting around with these masters in business degrees that they don't know any more than we do. They pretend they do, but they don't.
No, Matt said it. All a degree means is that you know how to Google shit.
Yep. All right. Give me another Audacity window. Come on, where's my Audacity? Come back. I don't know why this computer's running so slow tonight. So I had
Fucking Bill. I said terminate her contract. It seems that she hasn't fulfilled her end. He goes, well, that's what 51% of the country would do. They'd give her a 4-year contract with a promotion. He's talking about Kamala Harris. All right. I see what you did there, Billy. Are you ready?
I'm waiting for Audacity to come back up.
Fun.
This machine's running very slow tonight.
Even more fun.
Check. All right. All right, we're ready to go with the B block.
All right, well, let's just dive right into the B block then. Just go ahead and do whatever it is that you
do. Whatever it is I do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the B block on the Media Virus Podcast. This is episode 198B. We're going to talk a little bit about Gen X traits.
Well, I thought this was interesting because, I mean, two of the things that I guess, if you were to like boil down everything that we talk about, what's going to come up most is Generation X and AI.
Absolutely.
Right. So this article just seems like it's right in our wheelhouse. 10 ways that you'll know someone is Gen X, according to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT proposed a list of signs ranging from personal style, the music they listen to, and even how they respond to technology. Newsweek has them listed below, and the Metavirus podcast is going to read them to you. Nostalgia for the 1980s and 1990s pop culture. Considering I've been watching MASH for the past 3 weeks, I think there's some validity.
I was going to say that tracks.
Entertainment references. They often reference classic TV shows like Friends, The X-Files, and Seinfeld, and movies such as The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and Pulp Fiction. Music preferences may have a deep appreciation. What? What's that?
I said I reference all of them. I reference all of those
daily. They might have a deep appreciation for grunge bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, or alternative bands like REM and The Cure. Hip hop from the 90s like Tupac, Biggie, and early Jay-Z also resonate with them.
Yep.
So far, ChatGPT is right on. Preference for analog media, physical formats. Gen Xers may still have a fondness for vinyl records, cassette tapes, or even VHS. They appreciate the tangible aspect of media, like flipping through an old photo album instead of scrolling through digital photos. There is something a lot more that you can feel like you appreciate, but it's one of those things where I think it's not necessarily a preference for analog media, but having to deal with analog media has made me really appreciative of what we have. Like, I don't have to go buy an album to listen to it. You know what I mean? I don't have to go spend my money. Like we spend money every month, but I can listen to whatever I want to listen to. Whatever it is.
But you also appreciate the joy of buying that physical format and opening it and getting down to the actual media and putting it into the machine and playing it. That tactile experience of tearing it open and reading it.
One of the things I really appreciate about Ryan is he loves the physical formats. Like he's got a DVD collection that you would not believe. And all of my DVDs are in the basement. And I'm so into the streaming. You know what I mean? And I'm just so happy about it. I don't have to, like, the way Erica and like her friends shit on the way people like display DVDs. Like, they're not home decor, they're just DVDs, And
I just feel like it's like if you have them out now, like you're just trying to like be obscure.
I have a big shelf
Go ahead.
I have a big shelf that I built to go over my television set. It's the width of the television set. It does hold the DVD and Blu-ray collection. However, it also has a bunch of other knickknacks and crap on it. But they're there. I'm not hopping up there to take them down anytime soon. It means I have to find a box and another place to put them.
Right, you have to find another place to put them. I just feel like in the way people did records in the 2000s and just had them, and it was this super like, oh wow, you listen to records. Like, it's the same.
It's called vinyl.
Bye.
And yes, we do still have it.
I'm sure they'll come back for some reason.
I've got a pile right next to me.
Oh, I saw this video of this girl who was like, you guys, my grandma has this for sale. And it was a portable DVD player. And she had all of her like all of her DVDs that are like bootleg, like all in like the case, like, when you buy like recordable CDs.
Yeah. She
had them all in there. She's like, yeah, whatever you want to watch, go ahead and watch it. And like, it still worked and everything. And I was like, oh, funny, because last Christmas we bought one of those for Ryan. And it's still in the box.
Last Christmas, I bought Ryan. Well, it wasn't last Christmas. It was Christmas before that. I bought Ryan this thing. It's a tablet.
Right.
So on the outside, it's like finger moving tablet.
Right.
But it opens up and you put a DVD in it and you can watch DVDs.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was cool. I thought he
Yeah.
would think it was cool. He did not think it. I strike out with that kid on Christmas all the fucking time. But he still enjoys getting movies, posters. I'm
Yeah.
sure he'd like getting CDs.
He really likes getting like cups.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like his favorite gift from last Christmas was like a coffee mug of like Batman or something. Like it's the shape of Batman's head
Okay.
and it's a coffee mug.
actually
We didn't
pretty
get it for him. He just has described it to me several times.
We heard about it. We didn't get it for him.
Yeah.
But
Well,
back to the article.
But that's I also think it's cool that he appreciates
Yeah.
simpler things, you know?
So
Things that other people may not take a moment to appreciate that way.
Mhm.
yeah. Especially kids his age.
Right.
And that goes with his music taste. It goes all over the place. But back to
Yeah,
the
he-
article. Number 3 is independent and self-reliant attitude. DIY ethos. Generation X values independence, likely influenced by their experience of being latchkey kids. School-age children left unsupervised at home for some part of the day. They may display a strong to-do-it-yourself mentality, whether in home improvement, car repair, or learning a new skill.
Fuck you. We've got this.
Number 4.
Hold my beer.
What?
Ooh, sorry. Hold my beer.
That's right.
Funny that I said fuck you, we've got this, because right up next at number 4 is
Cynical sense of humor.
it's right there.
Sarcasm and irony. Gen X is known for a certain level of cynicism and irony in their humor. They grew up during a time of economic and political change, which shaped their outlook to be more skeptical and sarcastic.
Just a bit.
5, fashion throwbacks. Grunge or 90s fashion, you might notice a fondness for flannel shirts, Doc Martens, leather jackets, or band tees. They might incorporate these elements into their current wardrobe as a nod to their youth. Do you think that?
I just feel
Or-
like all
or
of
as a
these
middle
should be a millennial too.
Or as a middle finger to all the kids wearing band t-shirts now that have no idea what they're wearing.
Literally, I bought like an Iron Maiden shirt at fucking Kohl's.
For who?
For you.
I don't have an Iron
Okay,
Maiden.
then maybe we saw an Iron Maiden.
I know.
I
One
specifically
time
remember.
I remember seeing a Slayer shirt at Kohl's and was like, "What the
What on
fuck?"
earth are you doing?
Right?
And even at Old Navy, they have like band tees, and I'm like, do you even know what this is?
So there's a rash of people wearing Nirvana sweatshirts right now.
Oh yes, Nirvana's a big one for the big box stores.
I got to
And-
tell you, the problem. Go ahead.
Most of the people that I've seen wearing are young black kids, and none
Yeah,
of them know
right.
who Nirvana is.
Oh my god, remember our neighbor?
Oh yeah, he was
He had
wearing
a Bad Religion
He,
shirt.
he had no idea it was even a band. He just thought it was like a jean company or something like that.
Right.
But yeah. But language and communication style. Oh wait, what the fuck was I going to say? I had something to say. Oh, the thing about Nirvana, and this is why, for the people who know the band and are still wearing the shirts, most of them know the Unplugged album, and they
Yeah.
think that's Nirvana. That's not Nirvana.
That's their version of Nirvana. Don't yuck
That's
their
no.
yum.
I refuse to let that be their version
mean,
of Nirvana.
The
You need to go
Unplugged
listen
stuff
to-
was good, but it was good as a oh wow, he can do that too.
Oh yeah. No, go listen to fucking Bleach. All
You don't
right,
have to.
they do. Bleach was their first album,
Uh-huh.
and then Nevermind was their breakthrough. It's a good album. That's the one that Come As You Are, Smells Like Teen
Yep.
Spirit. But there's other songs on there like Polly. That song is fucking fantastic. And then Incesticide. Incesticide was a fucking album. That was a quintessential Nirvana album, and then their next big commercial success, In Utero. All fantastic albums. None of them sound like the Unplugged album. Anyway, now that you've all, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But the next thing is number 6, language and communication style. Slang usage. They might use the phrases like whatever, totally, cool, or dude naturally in conversation. They might also roll their eyes at newer slang like lit or yeet.
Every time.
I don't give a shit about the new, like, let them, whatever. Let them have their fun.
Hold on to the rest of it. Communication preferences. Gen Xers are comfortable with both analog and digital communication, but may prefer phone calls or emails over text messages for more meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what those methods are for.
We know which meetings could be emails.
Yes.
Funny.
Yes.
That's like,
but they left out the strongest slang that has stuck with me, that just comes out of my mouth without even, if I agree with you, word.
Oh yeah.
Word comes out of my word. It's just,
I use word, and I also tend to sometimes go to fucking A, but
fucking A is a good one. Or fuck a B, it's got 2 holes.
Those are generally those are generally associated with our generation.
Yeah, that's right. Number 7 is technology adaptation.
This is big.
Yeah.
This actually might transition. I don't know because I haven't read it yet. But I saw this video once that said something like, I'm not going to use my phone to buy plane tickets. Buying something big like plane tickets requires being on the laptop.
Right.
And so that just reminds me of, like, to tell somebody something, like, you need to have a phone call and, like, it be like a proper phone
No,
call.
you don't text somebody, grandma's dead. You don't text, email is even in poor taste. But
Right.
email is more acceptable.
Well, I mean,
It's closer to where you should be.
Available. I feel like email is so.
Do you know what the worst form of communication, and it's big amongst her friend group,
Oh, geez.
is this concept of a recorded message. They'll talk. Voice memo. They'll talk, and then they'll respond to each other.
Right.
And I'm like, this is a phone call with extra steps.
Yep.
But
it's
you also can't.
But
there's no there's no back and forth. You get to say what you said, and then I get to say what I want to say.
Oh my god, we can't.
And then you can't. Yeah, I can't interrupt your train of thought and make you think of some dumb shit I want you to think of.
Yeah, it's getting to the point. It's saying what you need to say.
I fucking hate
but
it.
It's also, it leaves it open that, like, if you can't talk, I have to say something right now. But if you can't listen to it right now, listen at your leisure.
So number 7 is technology adaptation. Digital immigrants, while they are tech savvy, having adapted the digital age, they may still exhibit a degree of caution or skepticism towards new technology. They might finally remember the time before smartphones and social media dominated everyday life. I think that's most of what the show is.
Definite.
Yeah.
I feel like a big one is, like, online banking and stuff, and, like, doing stuff online. Like, my dad,
I'm new to that.
My dad refuses to transfer money to me. He will always say, come pick up the cash. And I'm like, can we not? Like, you had to go to the ATM for that. We could both still be in our houses with me having the money.
Either of us had to stop masturbating to do this.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
It's funny because it's true.
Media consumption habits. Traditional media. Gen Xers might still consume traditional media like newspapers, magazines, and cable TV. They are likely to enjoy reruns of their favorite old shows or listen to classic rock or 90s playlists on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're not listening to playlists on the radio because playlists aren't on radio.
This is written by AI. They don't know the difference. But yeah, no, those are all. I haven't seen a newspaper. Well, that's not true.
Your dad, the Beverly Bee.
The Beverly Bee. There's a like a little local newspaper, and I just use it to line the cat pan in my mom's room. Number 9 is work ethic, career outlook, balanced approach. The value work-life balance, a reaction to the burnout often seen in the baby boomer generation. Gen Xers typically appreciate stability, but also value flexibility, having witnessed economic recession and corporate downsizing in their formative years. And then number 10, political and social awareness. Skeptical yet pragmatic. I think that describes a lot of us.
I just feel like you guys are the age of people that are supposed to care about this.
When
I'm your age, I'll care about it.
Yeah, but if you see, the earlier you start caring about it, I mean, really, you got to really like not just care about it because somebody tells you to care about it, but really look at how you want your life to be. What type of interference you want from the government within your life, and then see which party kind of aligns best with your values, so that you like. If the faster you do that, the more the bigger the ulcer will be when you're my age. No. So, but political awareness, because I've been like avid politically like inclined since.
Well, yeah, all your siblings are super.
I was like 20.
Political.
Yeah, on different ends of the spectrum.
Oh yeah.
So, but skeptical.
Not the same as you at all.
Skeptical yet pragmatic. Politically, they lean towards centrist or independent viewpoints, often skeptical of extreme ideologies. Having grown up during the Cold War and various social upheavals, they tend to be pragmatic and open-minded, but are not easily swayed by trends. Huh.
Yep.
What does an actual Gen Xer think? While it certainly isn't an exact science, ChatGPT suggests that these signs give you a strong sense of whether a person is part of a Gen X. The range of identifying factors reflect the unique experiences and cultural influences that have shaped the generation. Well, I'm not reading all this shit.
It's pretty reasonable, though. I mean, that.
Yeah. No, I mean, it, made sense to me.
Yeah, I did. It ticked a lot of our boxes.
So the next thing that on the agenda here is 5 Gen X values from the 90s. What the fuck happened?
Look at that. We're going to save the world.
The fuck?
What?
There we go.
What's wrong?
It's for some reason my browser keeps opening a separate window, and I don't know why.
And I don't know.
It's pissing me off. All right. So the article starts out, a few weeks ago, I came across an article about a kid who watches television at 1.5 speed so he can cram as much viewing in as he can. It seemed that his unquenchable desire to get through shows in the golden age of television meant he'd sacrifice the entertainment value of the show just to get to the end. Man, this guy would have been crucified in 1993, I thought. I mean, yeah, dude, my dad used to fucking... watching TV was not something that you talked about. Like, you talked about the shows, but not how,
Sure.
You didn't brag about it. But as a 45-year-old card-carrying member of Gen X, those born between 1965 and 79, I remember a time when nobody bragged about the amount of TV they watched. In fact, they bragged about not owning a TV. I don't watch TV, man. People used to say, it only exists to sell you stuff. The complete reversal of social acceptance of gluttonous TV viewing made me wonder what happened to the values we were raised on as Gen Xers. We were taught that sincerity was for simpletons. Everything corporate is evil. Old school is always better than the latest and greatest. Authenticity is king. Conformity is death. And there is nothing worse than being a sellout or a poser.
And that tracks.
Nobody would have ever referred to themselves as an influencer in 1991. That's the definition of a sellout.
Yeah.
After writing a book, I'm back in the mindset of 90s thinking, which is that nothing is worse than selling out. Chuck Klosterman, author of The 90s, a book, told Esquire, "Nothing was more embarrassing in the 90s than trying to convince people to like the thing you made." I think that's part of our problem. Like with the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We do it, but we're
It-
not going to like beg
But
you
it's
to
hard for us
fucking-
to convince people that it's as good as it is.
Right. Deep inside the heart of almost every Gen Xer is a deep-seated feeling of nihilism. We didn't trust the corporations that laid off our parents or gutted their pensions in the 80s. In fact, everything corporate was predatory. We didn't have a lot of faith in family values because we were the first generation raised by single parents or in daycare. We didn't care much about politics either. Back in the 90s, Gen X's aversion to politics was historic. Of course, these are all generalities about the generation of nearly about 65 million people, but studies show that they are some definite hallmarks of being Gen X. According to the General Differences document circulated through the business community, Gen X core values are skepticism, fun, and informality. They described as self-reliant, independent, and unimpressed with authority, and motivated by freedom. This is like I'm reading a story about me.
Right?
In the young Gen X culture, the era instilled a wariness and skepticism and kind of figured out yourself mindset. Paul Taylor, the author of The Next America, Boomer, Millennial, and the Looming Generational Showdown, told the Washington Post that with came sense that you don't have to shine light on yourself. You're not the center of attention. Jesus Christ.
You all right over there, man?
It's hitting home, man. But the things have changed since the 90s. When Gen X was coming of age, we lived in an American culture that is fractured by political partisanship, fueled by a constant culture of outrage, crippled by preoccupation with technology, plundered by greedy boomers, and annoyed by overly sensitive millennials. All of this happening while we face the greatest challenges of our times, climate change. All right, go fuck yourself with climate change. The answer to all of these problems is simple. Admit that Gen X at one point had it right, and if we followed its lead, we could reverse these terrible trends. Okay, it might not fix all your woes, but the way things are going now, it surely aren't working. Plus, weren't the 90s great? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They really were. All right, so we're going to get into this. Buying vintage items. Dude, nothing was less hip in the early 90s than wearing mall clothes. If you had a style, you shopped at a thrift store and bought used duds from the 70s and early 80s and remixed them into something awesome. If you were into hip hop or skating, you shopped at the surplus stores and rocked some super durable Dickies or Carhartt gear. The mood of the time was totally anti-fashion. These days, we live in a world where fashion is killing the environment. By embracing the Gen X value of old school cool, we can help the planet while looking much more fashionable in the process.
Are you fucking me right now?
Not yet.
Because in the 80s, they like people bought fucking new clothes.
In the 80s, but not in the 90s. Also,
In the
I
90s.
In the
don't.
90s, people bought new fucking clothes too.
No, I always had new clothes. My parents wouldn't let me shop at a thrift store. But, you know, you wash something enough times, it looks beat up.
I
I mean, we used to buy shit and beat it up.
Is this also AI?
It might be. I don't know.
It's misleading. It's making it sound like nobody in the 90s had a new clothes.
I
Really?
don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's just saying in his culture, the way he remembers it.
This is something that we could embrace today to make things better now.
Right.
Not that it was
Well,
the
no,
That'd
absolute
be
norm.
old for.
Number 4, corporate skepticism. In the early 2000s, people fell head over heels in love with smartphone technology and social media so quickly that nobody stopped and said, hey, wait a minute. Now we have a world where kids are depressed and the culture has become divided and nobody talks to each other in public anymore. I thought that said public restrooms.
Not a
Like,
single depressed child in the 90s. Not
they
a
stare
single
at their
one.
they stare at their
Coffee in the
phones.
can.
I can totally understand why young millennials and Luddite boomers would fall for the big tech ruse, but sadly, Gen X was asleep at the wheel when we fell victim too. The generation that embraced the notion that TV ride your brains needs to remind everyone to go outside and play in the sunshine, read a book, and if you read a book, it should be by Bret Easton Ellis. I don't know who that is.
You don't read books.
Because reading is stupid. All right. I said it before. If God wanted us to read, he wouldn't have invented movies. All right. Now, this one, just say whatever. Two of the most popular Gen X phrases were whatever and talk to the hand because the face don't give a damn. Now, I'm going to put a little correction in there because around my parts of Gen X, we said talk to the hand because the face don't understand.
You said the face not listening.
That doesn't rhyme.
And
It's supposed to rhyme.
I don't believe I've ever said the phrase talk to the hand and meant it.
But these may seem flippant responses, but they are a correct way to deal with other people's nonsense. And in 2022, well, now 2024, we have to deal with a constant barrage of other people's nonsense. Somewhere along the way, people forgot that it's even more powerful to ignore someone than admit they got under your skin. Thank you. Fuck. In the world of social media, we unintentionally amplify the most wretched voices by subtweeting, commenting, and liking the posts from an army of grifters fighting for our attention.
You remember ignoring somebody back in the 90s only involved picking the phone up and setting it down next to the cradle?
Right?
Because now it's off the hook and they can't call you.
They can't call you. Or you remember just like leaving the house?
Yeah.
You know, just
and not telling somebody where you're going.
You remember just dropping in on your friends, just stopping over?
Yeah, often.
Now it's like a sin to like
it was
drop
always
in on somebody.
Yeah, but you know, we had to be forgiving back then because you didn't always have a quarter for the payphone, and you couldn't always find a payphone that was handy. You know, it's time consuming and irritating to stop at a payphone and call somebody and say, "Hey, do you mind if I drop by?"
Right.
There's a payphone outside of the restaurant we were at the other day. Next to Bumpa da Bumpa.
Bumpa da Bumpa.
Bumpa.
Bum, bum. I bet you could stand in front of that payphone and challenge people to be able to use it and come up with a lot of them that couldn't.
Well, no, because where this is, it's like all like meth heads, I think. And so they would know how.
We also live in an era where many seem to be addicted to outrage. The quickest way to stop fanning the flames of outrage is with a simple whatever. Like dogs distracted by squirrels, we've got our heads on outrage swivels these days. Throwing around the occasional whatever gives us the time and energy to focus on the problems that really matter and take action. Whatever.
Ever.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. I was going to mention this earlier when we were you were talking about Killer. Ryan's mom, when she was a kid, they used to sign letters or cards to their mother as Dash.
That's weird.
Dawn, Amy, Sam, and Heather. Dash.
My parents have tattoos that say Jesse. Josh, Eric, Sissy, Izzy.
That's. What about Liz?
She don't have.
All right. Well,
We picked up another Gen Xer in the middle of that.
what's that?
I said we picked up another Gen Xer.
Oh, is Pete here?
Oh, the Pete
Speaking of
Pop-
untapped rage,
Oh,
we
way
got-
better than Pete. Hey, friend.
Holy shit.
I love how
You know
she's
what-
caught right on.
I'll tell you what's great about that. Pete is currently back around episodes. I think last time we heard he's before episode 20. So
He was at 13 when he last mentioned it.
in a year or two, Pete's going to hear this episode and
But
come.
hey,
Because he's not listening to the current episode and going back. He's just starting from the beginning, plowing through, which you got to respect, you know?
Well, what I think when we first asked him, he said, "You mean the one that I was on last week?" As if that was a reason to not listen.
Right. All right, let's finish this up. Number 2, the second best thing that Gen X values could do for this country is bring back snobbery. Good taste used to matter. In the 2000s, good taste used to matter. In the 2000s, millennials decided that people have the right to like what they like, and that's it. It's worse to judge someone's personal taste than to have bad tastes. Gen Xers based their entire personalities on taste and demanded integrity from artists and were rewarded by living in a time of superior film and music. These days, no one listens to new music, and we're stuck in a world dominated by comic book movies because no one stood up and shamed people for liking low-effort culture. Now, movies I would argue with, but music, the music that's been coming everything is fucking garbage. Dude,
a lot of it
here's the thing. I would rather listen to the Gin Blossoms than shit from today. I would rather listen to Counting Crows than shit from today.
Mr. Jones?
Mr. Jones and me whine around and masturbate. Hate that fucking song. But
listen,
it's better.
The thing about movies is that I saw a thing, Matt Damon explained it. Like, you can't they can't make movies like they used to because no one's buying DVDs. And so their whole budget, like no one's making money on movies anymore. Like, the whole budget goes to the movie, so they can't have this crazy big budget and think that they're going to get some of their money back with DVD sales because there are no DVD sales.
Oh, so people just make movies for money. They don't do it for the art.
You have to make your money back.
That is the business.
Well, the number one thing that Generation X's values can do is political apathy. America's political divide has calcified over the past decade because more and more people are basing their personal identities on their politics. This has created a culture where the dialogue between liberals and conservatives has become a shouting match that only makes people dig their heels in further. It has also created a culture in Washington, D.C. that has attracted a more debased form of politician and led to the gridlock that has halted any sense of progress. Sadly, Gen X has also been sucked into this vortex. Things were a lot different back in the 90s. In 99, Ted Holstead at The Atlantic noted that Xers appeared to have enshrined political apathy as a way of life. He added that Gen Xers exhibit less social trust or confidence in government, have a weaker allegiance to their country, or to either political party.
That's true.
Now, compared to what's going on in America in now 2024, this type of apathy seems welcome. Back in the 90s, taking a chill pill could solve everything. Wouldn't it be great if everyone took one? They took them all away from us. And then we could open our ears and hearts and have some constructive discussions.
Yeah, there are a lot of skills that we don't have anymore.
Yeah, this is...
I mean, am I the only one who's thinking of Quaaludes right now?
Right? I mean, there used to be really fucking great drugs back in the 90s.
So the reason I brought that up is so I can bring this up. Another thing that we as Gen X had were the anti-drug commercials on TV.
Yes, those are fantastic.
And there was the one where everybody was either messed up or offering you drugs. And there was that girl in the dark hallway with her eyes rolled around her head.
It'll make you feel good. Oh no, there was one where there was a girl in a hallway and she's like holding the joint. It'll make you feel good. It'll make you feel
remember that one.
It'll make you feel good.
It was always when you were trying to watch a regular TV program and then there was some weird character that would show up and like the whole episode would grind to a halt and then it would just get weird.
Yeah.
I still remember that.
But they were always bringing up Quaaludes. And in the 90s, nobody had seen a Quaalude for 10 years.
Yeah, but Nancy Reagan didn't know that. Well, that was Nancy Reagan was out in 88. But that's still, you know.
I'm going to bed.
All right. I love you. Good night. But I think what we should do,
Yes.
because we've been going for 45 minutes in this block,
Wow.
so we should probably wind this
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
down and get to it.
This has been the B block on the 198th episode of the Media Virus podcast. As you can see, Big Daddy's joined us. So when we get into the C block, we'll do all that Big Daddy stuff that you like, and maybe even do a cold read theater if we can get a couple of characters together to tell you about that. Let's see. Yes, it's right here. In the C block, we discuss aging, sweeteners, and are probably doing a cold read theater. I have this thing stuck up my ass, and I wish the batteries would run out. I'd like to thank Matt for writing all of my tags and openers and closers. And
I've been doing a lot of stuff.
We'll be back with the C block right
Stuff's
after
been happening for me. How you doing, man?
Not bad. How you doing?
Doing good, dude. I thought we had a really good show so far. What did you
Then
think,
let's
Mike?
keep it up.
Yeah, it's been an interesting conversation, and I think that makes for a good podcast.
I think the Gen X was just to kill time.
Yeah,
You know, and I didn't even get to everything because I wanted to comment on this thing about Cobain because people are upset. There's a monument somewhere to him.
right.
Literally, it says he unalived himself.
That's weak.
Right? Like, and Gen X, we either want you to say he was lost too soon,
Or that
Depression.
he painted the side of that,
Or
tree
that-
with his
or
brain.
that he painted the wall red. You know what I mean? Either one is fine, but that unaliving bullshit, like saying, I first of all, I hate that. It makes it so sanitary.
Well, there's that, and the reason they do it is because the AI filters that they use to patrol social media will block those a post that say killed. They'll block out the word suicide. They block out the word drunk. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's also weird to me that Kurt Cobain has a monument. Like, he wouldn't want a monument anyway.
Right. It's sort of counterintuitive.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys.
Is it in Seattle?
I don't know. Let me see. Oh, go away.
All right, we'll just go in on a cold open now because I just started the recording. So, as we come out of break, we were chatting about a monument that has been erected in memory of Kurt Cobain, and when they on the plaque that's mounted with it, from what we understand, there's a narrative of, I guess, his importance, and it mentions that.
Well, I had this set up for the Gen X piece in the last segment.
Okay.
And I'm going to kind of just run through it real quick. The
Sure.
late Nirvana frontman, a rock legend and hometown hero, remains a permanent fixture in pop culture for many of his fans. Even 30 years after his death by suicide, Cobain's loss is still raw. Recently, though, some visitors to the Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle reported reading something that surprised them. A placard purportedly on display in one of its exhibits described the iconic musician's death in the following way: Kurt Cobain unalived himself at 27. Now, unalived is a common term on TikTok, initially used as a way to get around censors on the app when discussing death. But it's since taken on a euphemistic meaning offline, a way to talk about death and especially suicide while attempting to avoid the subject's inherent discomfort. So, and here, just real quick, the appearance of unalived in popular tourist destination, especially in references to Cobain, stunned some viewers who shared photos of the placard as early as May. Many argued that using the term disrespected Cobain and his legacy and was used to avoid having to discuss suicide directly. Some users who found the image, which went viral on X earlier this month, even compared it to newspeak, the simplistic euphemistic language used in George Orwell's dystopian classic 1984.
Agreed.
And that's my point. And I'm getting tired of all this fucking new. I'm getting tired of it. So yeah, and like we said offline, a Gen Xer wants to either see something very, very tasteful, like Kurt Cobain gone too soon due to depression, or Kurt Cobain redecorated his room with a shotgun and his brains. One or the other. And we're fine.
Either tread lightly with the language we already have,
right,
or kick us right in the face.
Right. But this unalived,
we know how to deal with that.
The man himself would have hated that inscription.
Yes. Now, see, here's the thing, and people really need to understand, and I've posted it, I've said it before. One day in primary school, 2nd, 3rd grade, we all got
I know exactly where you're going.
We all got wheeled in. We all got wheeled into a group, and they brought in a television set. And we were going to watch the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger.
Yep.
And we did. And the fucking Challenger exploded. And we went back to class, and they gave us fucking homework.
Yes.
There was no, and what you need to understand that it wasn't just a space shuttle. This was one of the biggest deals for a little kid because it was a big deal for teachers because Krista McCullough, a civilian teacher, was getting launched into space.
Oh, she got launched into space.
And, and so this was a thing that was a part of the culture for a significant period of time.
And then not to step all over you, but this actually goes back to the last segment because this reinforces our distrust of corporations, because it was Morton Thiokol who, rather than tell NASA the truth about what was going on with with the solid rocket boosters and the O-rings, they were like, it might be okay. And this it lends directly to our distrust of corporations, because Thiokol was a huge corporation, and that was shitty.
It does lend itself, but it really applies itself to our callus.
Yes.
The calluses started early. And my our calluses aren't as thick as my father's calluses.
No.
That wasn't even an event in his psyche.
It's a little different for you. You were raised by parents who are closer to our
Depression era farmhands.
Right.
Yes.
They're a little bit older than most parents of people our age.
Right. Yeah, no, I got you.
My parents, they had a similar situation. It wasn't a rocket into space. They turned on the TV one Saturday morning, and Lee Harvey Oswald was shot right in front of them the day after the president got shot.
The day after they watched the president's head explode.
Right.
On TV.
Well, nobody's that wasn't on TV.
Oh, wasn't on TV?
No, the Zapruder film came later. But right after Kennedy dies, you turn on the TV Saturday morning, and they bust in to show him being moved, and Jack Ruby plugs him, and then Jack gets shot. So my parents watched two people get shot on TV one Saturday morning. And when I was like, oh, yeah, some astronauts blew up and that, well, you know what they said? Right. Did you do your homework yet?
Who do you think's more traumatized, though? Them hearing about it or people who have actually seen that film?
No, agreed.
You know what I
But
mean? Because that trauma was pressed onto us.
right.
My dad had a picture of Jack Kennedy. My dad loved fucking Jack Kennedy. You started talking about Jack Kennedy, he started fucking crying.
I maintain that Jack Kennedy was the last real president. The last president that thought.
Don't say anything bad about FDR in front of my dad.
But
I learned.
I feel like he was the last guy that said, I'm going to get in this office and I'm going to do the good things that I think should be done the best way that I can do them. And he found out the hard way that, guess what? You're a fucking puppet.
Yeah.
You're going to be our fucking puppet. And that's the way it's going to go. And you saw what happened to him. LBJ knew what was up. He was part of that machine. Eisenhower just got out of office at the right time.
Yeah. But don't say anything bad about FDR in front of my dad. Really gets him upset.
I can imagine.
And for someone like a staunch conservative who doesn't really think FDR was that great.
Right. It's hard for you.
I've said a lot of shit. Makes him angry every time.
But you have to admit the Democrat versus Republican thing was a little bit different back then.
It absolutely was. Right. But the Democrats, it's still the same where the Democrats are blatantly fucking racist and everybody just accepts it.
Often.
And somehow Republicans are the assholes. So,
often.
Yeah. But Pete said he'd be in about 8 minutes. So we've got, let's take a look at the show sheet here. We could keep going with the generational stuff. I have this Gen Z dipshit.
The Gen Z what now?
I had a bunch of articles loaded for the Gen X discussion.
Okay.
And
Gen Z dip.
Gen Zer shows up to a job interview in shorts, refuses to go home and change. When they offer for her to, they decide to reschedule the interview with me for tomorrow. All right. So what this headline is saying is that this dumb bitch shows up in shorts. They said at a job interview, they go, "Hey, you want to go home and change?" She says, "No."
No, I'm good.
And then she
They're
goes,
like, "We'll wait."
"Well, we'll reschedule your interview for tomorrow. And hopefully if she goes back for that part, she'll know to dress appropriately."
Yeah, like they feel like they made the point. Now they're just going to give her the option to not do it right now.
Right. So, but it can be difficult to gauge the formality of an office environment. If you work on Wall Street, it's pretty easy to figure out. You're going to have to wear a suit 52 weeks out of the year. But what about the rest of us? If you have a nondescript office job, the formality you expect to adhere to could be a black tie or could wear cutoff jeans every day, like I do. The only way to find out.
That doesn't surprise anybody about you.
Yeah, but I didn't write this article, so it's whoever that guy is. The only way to find out is to go into the office and question for a job interview. When dressing for interviews, it's of the utmost importance to dress better than you'd probably dress for a regular day at work. It might seem like an old-fashioned notion that wearing a blazer will help you get the job, but you have to play the game. If you're unwilling to adhere to some level of professionalism, especially before you even get the job, you're in deep trouble. The Gen Zer at the center of the story is one who is unwilling to play the game. So, where the fuck?
This seems to me like a very simple problem and solution. You have a Gen Zer who doesn't want to dress for a job that they want, so don't give them the job. Roll credits. You know, like that. That's the end of the story.
I'm trying to. Apparently, this is the video.
Yeah, I think that's.
I don't have any. Huh?
I said I think that's a Pinterest link down there that then links back out to her TikTok. I was just looking at it. It doesn't seem to want to work for my. Like it's not turning into a link.
It's just a video, and I can't turn volume on. I can't. This is fucking weird.
Did they link to it in the article directly? No. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can track it down. Let me see if I can track that down. Talk amongst yourselves.
Speaking of weird, I read an article that said that
I could change it. I was like, no, these are the shorts.
All right, what were you saying, Big Daddy?
I read an article that said that JD Vance went to Pat's Cheesesteaks in Philly as part of the rally thing, as is the tradition for, and asked why he couldn't get a cheesesteak with Swiss cheese.
I mean, I get it.
Minneapolis anymore.
He went to Pat's, where your only option is whiz and whiz out.
They don't. I thought they did American too.
Provolone.
Still, like, those are your choices. Yeah. And asked him about Swiss cheese. That's fucking Swiss cheese on a cheesesteak is fucking weird.
It doesn't sound like a bad plan though. Like I
you never had a beef and Swiss au jus? Fucking delicious.
That's not a cheesesteak.
No, but I get it. I understand why someone might think it's a good idea. I don't understand why you would ask there.
All right. Well, let's watch this. Let's watch this stupid
bitch.
Fucking idiot.
So I just got dress coded during an interview. And then they decided to reschedule the interview with me for tomorrow. But before they rescheduled, the lady was like, would you like to come back? I could change and then come back. And I was like, no. These are the shorts. Let me turn to the side for y'all. These are the shorts.
Yeah, they're shorts. They're completely inappropriate for a job interview.
I mean,
I don't know what. What do you think? What point do you fucking think?
So I just got dress coded during an interview.
First of all,
office attire.
First of all, you can't even fucking enunciate. I don't know what the fuck you are saying. That's your first strike. All right? Enunciate your fucking words. Secondly,
her audio's bad too.
Yeah, her audio is bad, but she does that. You know, her mush mouth doesn't fucking help anything.
What gets me is that it is again the sense of entitlement. Who the fuck do you think you are?
I mean,
to tell them.
Well, I think what she's trying to say is she thinks she looks good.
It's not a bad look,
yeah,
but it's not job interview.
Right. No. That's the thing is there's a big difference between
that's casual Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be like if casual you already had the job and you know and it was middle of summertime. Did they say what the job was?
I don't think so, no. But I mean,
curious.
Having recently interviewed and obtained a job, I can tell you that after the initial interview was over the phone, and my plan was if I made it to the in-person interview, I would have slacks and probably one of my sport coats. even if I didn't wear a shirt with a collar, I'd still have the sport coat and the slacks.
Mhm.
And I was in the phone interview, the recruiter specifically told me, "Hey, it's a pretty casual workplace. So even for the interview, if you just, like, you could probably even wear jeans, just don't wear a t-shirt, wear something more than a t-shirt. But like jeans or khakis, that's just, and a shirt is how we dress." I mean, but the only reason that I dressed in that fashion was because I was specifically told in the recruiting process, "Hey, don't go out of your way." And in my mind, having hired before and given people explicit instructions on how to come in and interview, part of what I'm looking at is, can you follow my instructions? If I tell you to do something a particular way, are you going to do that? So that's what I did. And presumably it worked out. I ended up with a job, but
I think the best part about this video, though, is that she really thinks that she's proven a point.
right. She thinks she's right.
Yeah, and that's
Mhm.
that's part of the problem, is that these people think they're fucking they have legs to
Unless
stand on.
somebody in the initial phone contact let her off the hook and said, "Hey, it's going to be hot on the day that we've got you scheduled. Just wear shorts." That's inappropriate. Now, if somebody said that, "Hey, look, we understand it's nasty out there. Just wear shorts. It's all cool. That's how we dress in the office anyway." Then there's no need for
Yeah.
this video. I guarantee that never happened. She was expected to dress professionally and show up, which she did
Mhm.
not do.
And like, you're asking for something. You're
Yeah.
asking them to give you a shot.
Yeah.
Like, why? I don't know why you would show up. Now, here's the thing, right? I figured out that if you interview for a job while you're stoned, that's what they understand as a base level. So they don't
Mm.
question whether or not you're on drugs unless you haven't smoked. And then you can honestly say no.
That's brilliant. It's absolutely fucking brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, advice on how to set up your future from the Media Virus Podcast.
That's right. It was funny because I got a job at Bob's Discount Furniture.
That's how you did it.
You know, Becky was the one that Becky was the one that hired me.
Okay.
But I was baked out of my head.
You were looking all pretty in your
She-
suit, though, weren't you?
I was really pretty.
But what made you go for the interview in that condition in the first place?
It's a pain management thing for me. Like I
Uh-huh.
smoke to manage my pain.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And why would I want to go into a job interview hurting? Mm-hmm.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying?
I would love to shit on your idea, but
But that was my
fucking
fault.
worked.
They'll never.
Like, as much as I want to shit on it, it worked. So, damn.
Yeah.
You just have to be able to hold it.
I went to training. I went to training high every day. Yeah. Which is, I'm really fun when I'm talking to. Where'd Pete go?
I would love to hear the
All right. He was here and
conversation.
now
I want to hear how the interview went from her side.
He was baked out of his head. I hired him just to see what he would do next.
Yeah.
No,
Like, I feel.
because after I got fired, I in a conversation with her many weeks later, because we still hang out. Like we still hang out, right? Like it's been 5 years, we still hang out. And I explained to her that I was baked out of my head during the interview. She's like, "Were you really?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like I've been like, this is a constant for me.
I mean, she legit didn't realize it. That
No, and her sister's a smoker. So it's like, it's not from.
One of
I
the
mean, Visine does one, dude. A little bit of Visine and some Axe body spray.
One of my greatest joys
I'm
as a
golden.
young man. My mother would always say as we were going out, and don't do any drugs because I'll know what you're on when you come in. And Mom, I'll be honest, Mom had a pretty good eye, but
I mean, it sounds like a challenge.
exactly. So one of my greatest joys as a young man was to, if I was out and I got all messed up, go home and
Put Mom
talk
to
to
the
Mom
test.
for an hour. Conjure up a reason to go shoot the shit.
The best thing about having like old parents is they're really tired at like 10 o'clock. So when you come home drunk, they don't notice shit. I would just I'd sit there and talk to my parents. Fucking hammered stone, whatever. You know?
Pete looks like an overnight DJ in a B movie.
An overnight DJ.
You look like the Temu version of Robert Smith.
Damn.
No,
Damn.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was
You're
actually
not kidding. That came. That was, you were not kidding. You meant that with every ounce of your being, the way you said that shit.
Nah, I'm an actor.
Temu version of Robert
I'm
Smith.
an actor.
I'm an actor.
Acting.
and I was being
Acting.
complimentary.
What's that?
I was being complimentary. Don't you remember those great old B movies that, you know, the murder mystery that only the guy on the radio knew about because they called in to do a confessional kind of shit?
No.
It was the theme of so many movies back in the day.
Hmm.
You know what?
I remember Wolfman Jack in American Graffiti.
He was also in Hollywood Nights.
What was that really bad 80s movie where like they wake up and everybody's been turned to a pile of dust?
Oh,
And they
yeah.
go to the radio station because
The Morning
like,
After.
this is it the morning after?
The Morning After.
I remember that one.
Is it the morning after? Yeah, they you know, and there's like a message on repeat, and they think, oh, somebody's alive, and they go to the radio station.
It was just 6 hours of
Yeah.
hours of real loop tape.
Yep.
I remember that.
Was the morning after? No,
Pretty sure.
like, this wasn't a
Night of-
serious dramatic movie. This was like a tongue in
Night of the Comet?
Yes, that's
I
it.
think it might be Night of the Comet. Yeah, it's Night of the Comet. Because like I was like, wait, the morning after, that was like a serious dramatic one. That's like the one after nuclear holocaust, you know, nuclear war, you know, they launch all the missiles.
Right.
Isn't it?
Can't believe I remembered that. That's from the way back.
Right.
Yeah, from the way back.
Oh, who was
I
the
think I
chick?
turned it on while I was recovering. It was one of those, oh look, you know, guilty pleasure. Let me watch some of these bad movies. And it had a
Catherine-
couple of hot chicks. It had a couple of hot chicks in it.
Huh. I haven't seen that in a long time. Another good radio movie from back then, Airheads.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Brendan Fraser and
Brendan Fraser.
I watched that once, dude. I listened to that
Harry Shearer.
I listened to that song all the time.
Who was wait a minute, who was it in
Harry
Airheads?
Shearer,
It was
the pig guy.
wasn't what's his name in that? Right. Here it is. Steve Buscemi. That's who.
Yes.
Like wait a minute.
Buscemi.
It was Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, Buscemi, you know, potato,
Adam Sandler.
potato fries. Adam Sandler and Chris Farley was in that. Yeah. And there's a meme going around where it's, I'm going to tell everybody this was Nirvana or something.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. I learned the other day that Smells Like Teen Spirit is just hooked on a feeling, or not hooked on a feeling, more than a feeling, is just slowed down.
Huh.
Yeah, or sped up, one or the other. The guy from Smashing Pumpkins did an interview, and he's like, "So, I was today years old when I was listening to Nirvana, and I was like, wait a minute, that's Boston's More Than a Feeling."
More than a feeling.
Yeah, until he went to a concert, and Kurt got up, and they started, you hear, because they always play Teen Spirit, and they started into it, and Kurt starts singing More Than a Feeling.
Huh.
I was like, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Well,
All right, what's the deal here? What are we doing?
I think Matt's looking for something.
Well, what I was doing is I'm
glad I heeded my intuition and started coming home.
All right, so I've got the cold read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'll
here's
be
the characters.
I'll be doing
right.
Mike Hawk.
You'll be Mike Hawk.
How can y'all see that?
I've got it on my screen.
Nobody can see that. I have it on my phone.
I have it on my phone.
Yeah.
Well, I think I can make that wider. Okay.
That's what she said.
Wait
a minute.
All right, so Mike, you are Mike Hawk.
Right.
You are Ivan beating it off.
Yep.
And you've been beating it off.
You are Harry
Cooter.
Harry Cooter.
The buffoonish hitman for the Cider Syndicate.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
Harry Cooter.
Stanley is BJ. Tits and beer.
Mike's sidekick, comic relief, hides his sexuality.
And you're going to be Euban beating it off.
Euban, what number is the? Oh, number 8. Okay.
I'm Euban beating it off.
And you're going to be the Korean guy.
And I'm going to be the Korean guy. Oh no, that's Stanley, right?
No, Dre's going to be the Korean guy.
Dre's going to be the Korean guy. I'm Euban beating it off.
Okay. So Stanley is going to be BJ Titsbender number 2, number 8 Euban, and Korean guy. Okay.
All right.
And
Pete.
BJ Euban, Korean guy. Okay.
Al.
Pete, you're gonna be Carmen's a bitch.
How did I know you were gonna make me be the chicks?
I'm a chick too. I'm not making you be all the chicks. I'm doing a chick too. Okay.
What are you gonna be? Ida Banger Harder?
Yeah, and you're also going to be Drew P. Balzac.
Attorney, always smoking a silly cigar.
Who's going to be Pete's sister?
Sveti Balzac is I'm gonna be the narrator. I'm gonna be Hugh Erection. Sveti Balzac and Ida Bangerharder.
Okay, this is a lot of roles for
Yeah, this is wait a minute.
All right, let's get to it.
All right.
I'm Drew P. Balzac, and
let me get
what's her name? Carmen's a bitch. about Dixon Cider and Jack Me Off?
Oh shit, who's Jack Me Off? I'll do Jack Me Off. I'll do Jack Me Off. It's all right.
Whoa. Okay.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another thrilling episode of The Hawk's Nest, where mystery meets mayhem in the bustling streets of 1940s New York. Tonight's episode, Case of the fuck. What the fuck was that? The Case of the Murdered Heiress.
Mike Hawk here, private investigator. Mike Hawk's seen it all. From two-bit crooks to high society dames. But tonight, Mike Hawk's got a case that'll make your hair stand on end.
Mike Hawk, there's been a murder.
I'd have banged her harder. Mike Hawk knew something was fishy when you walked in with those documents. Spill the beans, sister.
Oh, Mike, you're always so suspicious. It's Carmen's a bitch. The rich heiress. She's been found dead in a mansion.
Carmen's a bitch, huh? Mike Hawk knew that dame was trouble. BJ Titzenbeer, get in here.
What's up, Mike Hogg? Got another case for us?
You bet your bottom dollar, BJ Titzenbeer. Carmen's a bitch has been bumped off, and Mike Hawk's got a hunch. It's more than just a simple whodunit.
Oh, sounds like a job for the fart hammer.
Save the tricks for later, BJ Titzenbeer. We've got a murder to solve. Oh, phone ringing. Phone ringing. I bet we're going to get a phone call.
Ring. Ring. Here, all right.
Phone ringing. Mike Hawk here. Mike Hawk here.
Pete, you.
Has anybody called for Mike Hawk?
Who wants to see?
Maybe it was Drew P. Ballsack.
I think Drew P. Balzac's calling Mike Hawk for some reason, but BJ Titzenbeer is not.
Who the fuck is on this phone? Oh, maybe we were disconnected. Hello, Mike Hawk here.
Is Pete muted? He's saying something.
We've got no audio.
He's not muted on our end. Something's wrong, Pete.
Something's wrong.
Oh,
Something's wrong. That's
There
what
you
Now,
go.
now we hear you. Now we hear you.
There we go.
Thank you. Sorry.
That's okay. Mike Hawk here.
Hold on. Let me find my spot.
That's all right. Mike Hawk's still
Oh,
here.
there it is. Yeah.
Mike.
Mike Hawk. It's Drew P. Balzac. I need you on this case. Carmen's a bitch was a client of mine. Meet me at her mansion.
Mike Hawk's on his way, Droopy Ballsack. And Mike Hawk's got BJ Titzenbeer along.
And so Mike Hawk and BJ Titzenbeer set off to the Zabitch mansion. Mike Hawk was always on top of Drew P. Balzac, but even he was unaware of the twists and turns that awaited them.
Mike Hawk.
Oh.
BJ Titzenbeer. Glad you could make it. This is my sister, Sveti Balzac.
Hello, Mike Hawk. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Mike Hawk's got his eye on you, Sveti Ballsack. Now, where's the body? Mike Cock. We meet again. I am even beaten it off. I found the body. I've beaten it off. Mike Cock knew you'd be mixed up in this. Where's your brother? You've been beating it off.
Right here, my cock. And I assure you, we had nothing to do with this. Yet.
Mike Cock's not buying it. BJ Titzenbeer, keep an eye on these two.
Oh, hello, my cock. This is my dog, Stu.
Mike Cock's got his eye on you, Korean guy, and your dog, Stu. Mike Hawk doesn't trust anyone with a dog named Stu.
Mike Cock, what are you doing here? This is a real case, not one of your wild goose chases.
Huge erection. Mike Hawk's got this covered. You just stick to your boring cases.
As the night unfolds, Mike Cock and his team delve deeper into the mystery, uncovering secrets, lies, and a plot thicker than a New York fog.
Mike Hawk's got a feeling this case is going to be a doozy. Stay tuned, folks, for the next thrilling installment of The Hawk's Nest.
This has been The Hawk's Nest, brought to you by our sponsors. Tune in next time for more mystery, mayhem, and Mike Cock and his crew. Good night, and stay safe out there.
Are we going right into part 2?
If you want. When we last left our heroes, Mike Cock and his team were knee-deep in a mystery of Carmen's the bitch's murder. The suspects were many, and the clues were few. But Mike Cock's never one to back down from a challenge.
Mike Hawk knew this case was going to be a tough nut to crack. But Mike Hawk's got a nose for trouble, and trouble's what Mike Hawk found.
Here, Mike Cock! I found something in Carmen's the bitch's diary. It mentions a secret meeting with a man named Jack Mehoff.
Jack Mehoff, huh? Mike Hawk's got a feeling this guy's up to no good. BJ Titzenbeer, let's pay him a visit.
Mike Cock and BJ Titzenbeer sped through the city streets, heading to the seedy part of town where Jack Mehoff was known to hang out. What do you want, Mike Cock?
Mike Hawk's got questions, Jack Mehoff. And Mike Hawk wants answers. That's what you know. What do you know about Carmen's a bitch's murder?
I don't know nothing, Mike Hawk, I swear.
Mike Hawk doesn't believe you, Jack Mehoff. BJ Titzenbeer, show him the fart hammer.
Oh, shit. You got it, Mike Hawk.
All right. I'll talk. Carmen was meeting with a guy named Justin Sider. He's part of the Cider Syndicate.
The Cider Syndicate. Titzenbeer. Mike Hawk's tangled with them before. BJ, we're heading to their hideout.
As Mike Hawk and BJ Titzenbeer approached the Cider Syndicate hideout, they knew they were walking into the Lion's Den.
Dixon. Who was Dixon?
Trey.
Oh, okay. Well, if If it ain't Mike Hawk, well, cumber my snaps and call me strange. Oh, meet my esteemed associate, Harry Cooter.
Mike Hawk's here for answers, Dixon Sider. What do you know about Commons a Bitch's murder?
Now, why would I tell you anything, Mike Hawk?
Yeah, Mike Hawk. You ain't got nothing on us. Mike Hawk's got plenty, Harry Cooter. And Mike Hawk's not leaving until he gets the truth. I would hate for Dixon Sider, Harry Cooter, and Mike Hawk to have a hard time. I would do more than talk, because when things get hard for Mike Hawk gets hard. And Dixon Sider, Harry Cooter, you don't want to have to deal with Mike Hawk hard.
Will Mike Hawk uncover the truth behind Carmen Mitch's murder? Can BJ Titzenbeers keep his tricks in check? What role do the Beaten-Off brothers play in this tangled web? Tune in next time for more mystery and mayhem on the Hawk's Nest. This has been the Hawk's Nest, brought to you by our sponsors. Stay tuned for the next thrilling episode. Good night and stay safe out there.
Yeah, I think we can definitely do something with these. Clean them up a little bit.
I mean, it's AI.
I know.
I just put,
I
set a
feel
prompt
like
in.
you could rewrite a couple of the lines to make those names like sound a little, like
I wrote the lines. I would hate for Dixon Sider, Harry Cooter, and Mike Hawk to have a hard time.
Yeah, just like that. But
I would do
other
more than
names.
talk, because when things get hard for Mike Hawk gets hard, and Dixon Sider, Harry Cooter, you don't want to have to deal with Mike Hawk hard.
I didn't even read this whole thing before I had to hold my laugh.
Well, because I figured the names themselves, as long as everybody, if Mike Hawk always refers to himself in the third person and always calls everybody by their full name, it's going to be funny.
Yeah, there's going to be dick jokes everywhere.
Right. It's going to be that dumb type of funny. But then when I realized Dixon Sider, Harry Cooter was a whole sentence.
It was right there.
Right there. And how to work that a little bit better. So I've been using AI to try to template it. But I think the next installment's going to be. Oh, by the way, I don't see anything. Like, I don't see any reason to continue the story. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
We're just going to come up with something else. And if we stumble on something, I think we have a Mike Hawk episode.
I realized in the first 5 minutes, or not even 5 minutes, 5 seconds, I was like, oh wait, he gave me a dead person's role.
I forgot. Yeah, that's how much I pay attention.
I was like, oh, I'm dead.
Oh, you're dead. So I'm like, I gave Pete nothing to do.
Thank you.
He had 2 lines through the whole thing.
I apologize. No, I touched my mic. That was that horrible noise in the beginning, and I was like, and then it was dead when I went to say something, and I was like, no, pause, stop, hold on.
I have to dig up a few sound effects and make sure they get on a board that I can look at separately from the script.
Yeah, and we gotta start doing the round robin writing again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could always
try to get. Well, I want to get Trey involved in that, because that's when it gets really fucking.
We may want to consider recycling the old scripts and continuing, because we never did finish that story.
I don't even know where that story was going. What was the crime? What were we?
The last I remember, everybody was in the backyard, and there was going to be a big all-out fight at the end.
What are you talking about?
You had a mysterious duck following you around. People thought you were hallucinating a duck.
There was a duck, which I remember the duck being very funny. And then I think that's when we decided that that noise I made was going to be a duck.
Oh yeah, it was a duck drowning in a vat of pudding.
Pudding.
Yeah.
That's right. But how was
Donald Duck, big vilely.
Big Daddy? How was improv rehearsal?
Not bad. It's we're kind of slowly getting back into the swing of things.
I guess everybody didn't come back all fired up and shit, or what?
No, not really. So with everyone kind of doing different shit and just kind of trying to get everyone back into a focus mode is what the challenge is. So we got ourselves a coach to just kind of help us focus a little bit more.
How's that working out?
So far, so good. Today was the second day, and you know how one of my favorite things in life is when girls wear the leggings that under the right lighting are see-through.
Oh yeah, yoga pants.
And I discovered that the perfect lighting for that is stage lights.
Yep.
I did not know that, and then it's like, oh shit! Okay, all right. Well, yep. So yeah, I had a good time.
That sounds pretty fucking awesome.
It was pretty fucking awesome. I gotta admit, it was pretty fucking awesome. I didn't learn a single goddamn thing, but I had a great time.
You saw some pussy lips. That's just Are you still like too embarrassed to bring your improv friends on the podcast?
I don't know that anyone would be interested, more because of the time.
All right.
As you get closer to a show, do you think maybe we could interrupt one of your rehearsals to promote your show?
That would be interesting. Actually, that would be interesting.
Like a 10-minute bit.
Have the group on for.
You don't have to be there the whole fucking time. Just like a
5 or 10 minutes of
promote
the
your shit.
block.
Yeah, that would be it. Yeah, it would be somewhere in the 8 to 9 hour. You could probably even stream it.
Well, that's what.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You could set like your device up at a distance and appear as a group, and
yeah, actually, I think that'd be fun.
you could probably StreamYard handles open sound fairly well, so you might even
They really
be able to
do.
like an open monitor so everybody could hear and interact.
It's a thought.
Yeah, I will pitch the idea. We have not figured out. We're still in the what's everyone's schedules phase. But when we figure out our schedule, I'll pitch that idea.
All right. One of the things I want to do too is try to like lock in just some more. Like, I don't necessarily want people to have to like come and sit the whole time. I just want actors for cold read so that we can, like if we have a group of people, it would. So I was thinking
That might be might be a good reason to have you on. We can play with a cold read script.
and we could talk to also on top of that. But what I was saying is I've been talking to Hickory, and I know that he's like we're gonna start doing a bit with him where he's going to come on the show and do a magic trick that he stole from somebody else, and that way he doesn't give a shit if somebody else steals that trick from him. Because one of the reasons
Gotcha.
he doesn't do tricks on the video is because people will steal his tricks. But if I'm gonna start sending him different tricks. I want to just steal somebody else's trick, and that way you don't care.
So should I put together imaging for that, or should we ask AI to write a fantastic theme song for the segment?
I mean, we can
Wait, can
Hickory,
AI write music?
yes.
You don't wait. Do you not know about
doesn't
Pete's
know.
theme song?
He doesn't know.
Dude.
You
Did I
didn't hear
send
my you didn't hear my theme song
I don't. It doesn't sound. That doesn't sound
or
familiar.
theme songs.
Do you have
Plural?
the full rock version, the one I sent over?
I don't. Actually, I was waiting for you to send me those because I didn't get them.
Oh, because you know what? I tried to send the MP3 via Facebook,
Okay.
and it just turned it into a player.
You may have
Okay,
to Google Drive that.
No, I had asked Matt for the original files at some point, but
I think it was
Because
he asked me for all I can give you is the video because I had to run it off the video.
okay. If you fire those over or save them in the drive somewhere so that I can get to them, because there was some I wanted to cut a little piece out of some of those and use it.
Yeah. Hang on, here we go. You ready for this shit? Big Daddy?
I guess we'll find out.
Oh, I've got
I mean, that's pretty fucking catchy. I'm surprised.
All right, so here's the words. In case you had a hard time. Sales of boredom call. Weird stories dragging on so long. We nod and smile, but it's wrong. This heart is mine. But this one ends abruptly. I actually had it. What I played first was a doctored version that I had elongated. But that is, I asked Copilot to write a song about Grease Monkey Pete, who's a great guy, but tells really boring stories. And that's what
I found out you're the original teller of long, boring stories, Matt.
Erica literally has chastised me. She's like, I don't know how you and Mike can beat up Pete for the way you tell stories because you all do the same thing.
Episode what, like 14 or 15 that I'm on of the media virus, and Connie is like ripping you a new one for doing that.
Sounds about right.
You gotta, dude, Pete, that was before we started writing anything down.
Oh, I know, no, I get it. I know. I'm just saying, but like I'm
even that, like,
I found it ironic. I was like, that's cool.
I know you keep bringing up the old episodes.
Yeah, because I'm listening to them. Because I'm
Yeah.
just, I wanted to hear what was going on before I was here. Like
Right.
get kind of a.
So, Dre, we also wrote a song for Rex Cootermore.
Ah, okay.
Wait, I don't remember this one.
Nothing's coming through, Mike. You got to be able to share a screen.
Okay, let me share this.
Present it.
I forgot about that. I can't just throw you my audio.
No.
Nope.
So how was driving, Pete? Did you make a bunch of money?
Yeah, I did a bunch of rides, little rides, but rides. So.
Hey, rides are rides, right?
Rides are rides. Well, that's really what it comes down to is like the number of rides. So like, I don't think I did anything less than like $10. Well, maybe like 9, but whatever. And, it's about getting my ride count so that like I'm not under that gun at the end, and well, also obviously trying to make my rental fee. So if I can get my rental fee out of the way, then everything after that goes in my pocket. But like, then there's not that Sunday like I've been doing the past couple of weeks where I have to go out Sunday till Monday morning at 5:00 and absolutely all the way to the last minute, and make $50 or $60 after I'm done making my rental fee. Also trying to just carve out so I can go. I'm looking for a car and go look at a car and then get a car and then that changes a whole bunch.
Are you just playing beach music over him now?
Just playing it over my story. What? Jackass. I mean, I feel like I should be over here like.
Rex Cootermore on a southbound train with a bottle of fabulous soda double pain. He hit Tijuana for a wild spree. Tia listened to show drunk as could be. Softener fumes were messy as head. Stumbled to the donkey show and upset. Lucinda danced, he hollered loud. Pulled his puppet from the shroud and wowed the crowd. Oh, Rexy, Rexy, your troubles are grand. Flashing that puppet, not part of the plan. Now in Tijuana, you're a wanted man. The story of reckless Mad Rexy began. The federales chased him through the night. A fabric-scented villain, pale with fright, left his V-neck t-shirt and his pride. But Tijuana's still laughing at his wild ride. Back home they talk of Rexy's fall. At the laundromat, he's a legend of all. His face on the softener bottle's line. But to Tia Lucinda, he's just a fleeting kind.
Did you write this song and then put it into AI?
Well, I gave it a prompt, and
you gave it a what?
I gave it a prompt, and I told it I wanted it to write a Mexican folk song about Rex Cootermore. And the theme of that song was to be that Rex was locked up, or he was on the run because they called the authorities out after he got out of hand at Tia Lucinda's donkey show. And somehow AI decided that through that it would make a thinly veiled reference to Rex flashing his pulling the shroud off of his puppet, flashing his puppet. So basically, it turned Rex into a dick flasher. That's apparently why he was on the run. mentioned.
How did you get it to do his fabric softener addiction?
I mentioned that he had a fabric softener addiction in the prompt.
Okay. Yeah.
This is that AI music site that I sent you before, Matt.
Yeah, send me that again because I've been using Copilot, which is pretty good. But and I like to try to confuse them.
Yeah, well, it also wrote this.
Like I tried to get them to write a song about Pete in the style of Rollins Band, and it had no idea. No idea.
Matty Rockdef got a plan. Professor Mike Litoris got a call. Grease Monkey Pete, we need your hand. Join the team. Don't let us fall. He heard the word scratching his head, thinking about the monkey life's demands.
This is definitely not Henry Rollins, man.
No. Just don't throw poo with them hands. Infection team is rolling out. Media virus running wild.
That's like country music.
Ricky Rockdef in the house. Gonna show what it's about. Keeping Matty in the line. Making sure we always shine. Professor Mike is the boss. Exact produce, there's no loss. Infection team, we got the groove. Podcast teams, we make you move. When the media virus takes the scene,
Hang on a second, because with that one, if there were a circle of naked dudes all fucking each other, it's just a little less gay,
right?
Than that. Well, we're still live streaming too. What are we doing? This is part of the show.
To uncover, for minds on fire can't cage their spirits. Matty Rockdef sharp words cut like a dagger. Professor Mike questions everything we hear. With Grease Monkey Pete, Reverend is loud. Ricky Rockdef, wild angel, she's got the crowd. Voices like thunder rolling through the night. In every digital corner, spreading their light. The infection team, breaking all the molds. Media.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun.
That was so gay. It has monkeypox.
Grease Monkey Pete, always there, fixes cars without a care. Your friend in the dead of night, with a goatee that's a sight. He's gifted with a wrench and wheel, every engine he can heal. Magnificent in every way, yet his stories make you sway. Grease Monkey Pete, oh yeah, he's neat. A heart so big, can't be beat. But his tales are kind of bland. Still we love him, understand.
You all right, man?
Gee.
So we've had some fun with AI music.
Yeah,
I see that.
Dude, AI has really improved the show.
As much as I'm afraid they're going to steal my voice and do something with it, yeah.
We use it for everything.
All right.
We use it for news copy.
Right.
We use it for,
Mike, you'll be the first guy I call if I hear your voice on something that I go, I know Mike didn't do that.
Fantastic. Anybody else got anything?
No, but I'm going to send this link out so everybody can log in and try writing music with their own prompts and see what we come up with. The more detail you give it, the better it is. I mean, the Rex Cooler song is absolutely the epitome of that.
I got to tell you, I really don't think Pete needs to be involved in this. I don't think he needs the link. I don't see a reason to give it to him.
You're all in big trouble now.
I'm just.
So in the style of Stephen Lynch.
Stephen Lynch was
right.
The difference between you and Stephen Lynch is Stephen Lynch was funny.
I'm not talking about me.
Oh. No, because Stephen Lynch had a.
I'm going to write songs about you guys.
He had that real monotone.
Yeah.
And his jokes were really absurd.
Yep.
Yeah, I tried to.
Or what's his name? Anthony Jeselnik. He'd be funny to.
No, he's a funny comic, but he's not.
But he'd be funny to hear him sing.
There was a whole thing I was trying to do. It's cool.
Okay, whatever.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, I honestly think it would be fun if we all if we come up with an assignment and we all come back with the song that we can generate. I think that'd be a fun segment.
We do have a couple of contenders for like new theme music too, don't we?
Yeah, I've got those tucked away. Let me see.
Do you even remember where they are?
Yeah, I think so. I just have to remember if I put them. I think I have them locally. Whoa. Slow down. There we go. If I do, they're here. And they're probably in a folder. Let's see. New theme candidates. That's probably where I put them.
Fucking A.
Well, this one's called Media Madness, and it is the A version of Media Madness. As soon as I get it. Now, I don't know if you can hear me play out of Audacity. Let's find out. Anything?
I hear something.
All right.
It's kind of breaking up, though.
Yeah, I'm going to share it. I didn't know if it would pick the audio up there, but apparently it's not. And is it not? I guess it's not offering me the opportunity to share that part of my screen.
You can't share Audacity?
There we go. I got it. Share. Okay. Let's see if I can make this happen.
Wow.
Why does it get all like I can't fucking hear it? Why is the fucking volume fucking with it? Did you turn it down?
Did I?
Yeah, like I can barely hear it.
Yeah, it was really loud, and then it was really.
It just stopped.
I didn't do any processing on them. I just I recorded them and trimmed them. I can bump them up. I don't have it turned up very loud. I didn't like I said, I didn't do any post processing on it. I just recorded them off.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that I got the recordings with good peaks so that where the peaks are doesn't clip, so that when I do bump it up, I have a good solid version. That was one. There's a second version of that.
That was all Greek to me.
What are you drinking there, Big Daddy?
He's muted.
fine.
Just water. I got to bring my blood pressure down.
We pissed
Drink
you
more
off that
water.
much? Oh.
That's effective.
I mean, it's I have to drink more water now.
Okay. I'm going to try the same.
I guess I have to drink water because I don't drink enough water, so I'm constantly dehydrated, and apparently it's bringing up my blood pressure.
I just need to stop like dealing with stupid people every day.
There's some kind of noise limiter.
Yeah, it
within StreamYard. We can't participate with it like this. Anyway, let's bring this to a close. I think we've all had enough of being on the air.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, in that case, I'll let everybody know. Just a quick reminder that this has been the 198th episode of the Media Virus Podcast. This is the C block. We do it each week after the A and the B block. Imagine that. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us. On behalf of Big Daddy, Grease Monkey Pete, and our fearless leader, Matty Rockdef, I'm Professor Mike Litoris coming from to you live from Uncle Butch Studios. We'll be back next week with another fantastic episode of the Media Virus Podcast.
My chocolate munchkin. Right up my chocolate munchkin, Doc.
Right on his chocolate munchkins.
What?
I said right on his chocolate munchkins.
Yeah.
Right on my fucking chocolate munchkins.
I think
Speaking
that
I
think
found
whole-
chocolate animal crackers the other day.
Oh, I love that. We're still streaming, aren't we?
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.